Hi, all of you out there in Flosstube YouTube world. It's Mary, and I wanted to come and give a stitching update. Today is November 29th. It's been about a month since my last update, and this is going to go up on the 30th. So at the end of November, I'm having a lot of fun making plans for the new year and for a WIP parade at the end of this year, and a lot of Christmas stitching. So I wanted to get this in now and show you what I've been working on in the month of November since I came to you last, and then to go from there. Thanks for being here today and joining me. I hope everyone's doing well. It's been chilly down here in Florida where I am. Last night it got down to 42 degrees Fahrenheit. For those of you who live in cooler climes, I'm sure you would be laughing at us, but we were freezing our butts off. We were really cold and still kind of are, although it's warming up a little bit more. But I'll tell you what, this Florida girl cannot hang. I was bundled up with all the blankets on, and really we don't even have that many blankets, to be honest, between our family, and even finding warm clothes is a bit of a struggle. I'm hoping that I put some away last year that I can find, but even so, I'm sure we're going to have to buy a few more, what with my kids growing and all of that. So anyway, it's felt like Florida winter, and it's felt cold here, and it's making me want to get all the Christmas things out. It's making me want to stitch Christmas, and I'm hoping to stitch a lot of Christmas in December. I'd like to focus on mostly Christmas for as long as I'm interested. So I'm looking forward to that, and later in the video I'm going to ask your help with deciding on some Christmas new starts this December. But first, I want to show you what I've been working on in November. So in November, I have been playing some of the Acrostics on Facebook in a couple of different groups that I'm in. I will link them below if anyone is interested, particularly pop culture challenges and crafts and books, which my friend Beth runs very ably. They're a wonderful, sweet, active group. And I've also been in the 24 Hours of Cross Stitch Acrostic. And I still have a long way to go, and it's the end of November, so I probably will not complete them all. However, I have completed some of them, and for me that's a big accomplishment because I normally don't. But it's helped me a lot in my stitching. It's helped me a ton to get some progress. So I don't have a lot of whips because I use the same whips for the acrostics, but I got a lot of progress, so I'm excited about that. So let me just get right into it and show you what I've been working on. In my last video, I showed you my birthday start. My birthday was in October, about a month ago, and I started this pattern. Oh, I didn't bring the pattern over. I could put a picture in if I feel like it. I'm going to have to edit this tomorrow, so it will go up on the 30th. So this is what it looks like, I think, and then this is where I am with it now. And I think I've made really good progress for a month, a little over a month, maybe about 5 weeks. No, it's been right at about, I guess, a month. There's not that much more to go, that's about it. There's some more stitching on the border, and then there's the pumpkin patch down here, so there's a little bit more, but I've made a lot of progress on it. I love stitching on it. I can't wait to stitch all of these patterns for the seasons. I absolutely love it. And that it's still technically autumn, right? So that is Autumn Season by Imaginating, and this is a 32 count white Lagana from Zweigart in the DMC colors. So like I said, I didn't stitch on a lot of different projects, but I stitched on a couple of the same ones and found, the letters. And this is my giant Harry Potter, which again I showed last time. And if I can hold it up right, I did make a little bit of progress on this. Sorry, I have hanging threads, and I've been trying not to do that as much. So here is where I am with this. I'm going to hold it up a little bit more. I don't know, it might cover me, but that's from the fabric. Since I showed this to you last, I need to fold this back because I'm blocking. Okay. Since I showed this to you last, I stitched, well, I added to Expecto a little bit, and I added to the side spells. I started Ridiculous, I think, and this one down here, something Larmus. I asked my son what it was and he remembered. I don't remember. Silly Larmus, something. And then I had to restitch Wingardium over here. That's why there's some blank letters. I had to pull them out because it wasn't lined up correctly. I just didn't go down one square and then it threw it all off. And I figure for a frame like this that it would really need to be lined up for it to show, you know, to end up right at the end. So I did have to just pull out a couple of stitches, but overall I did make a little bit of progress, and this was one of my few purchases this month. I've got fuzz flying around. This was one of my first purchases, or only purchases this month, was part 5 of, or part 4, one of the parts. Might have been part 3. I don't remember. It doesn't matter. But another part of this giant Harry Potter. I usually do that every year at Thanksgiving. I buy another part to this piece. But I still have more to finish before I can get into that part. So I will continue working on this. I am making plans for 2024. I'm excited to share with you. I'll do another video probably on that. I'm looking forward to joining WIPWarriors, which I've never done before. If you know me, you know that I make plans and I never have kept them. So we'll see. I would like to keep them. I think that WIPWarriors, it's where you focus on just a few whips. Well, there's a couple different options that you have. If you're interested, they're open right now to everyone. If you want to go in and check them out, that's what I've been doing. I've been invited by my friend Beth, and I'm looking forward to getting to know how it works better. They have a lot of events and games. And so I think for the month of December, they have it opened up. If you want to sign up and commit, you can do so to check it out. So anyway, I'm looking forward to that helping me get some of these whips down next year. So I brought one of my foam boards to display these on for you, and I was forgetting to use it. So I'm going to try it on this one. It's not ironed, I apologize, but hopefully you can see it okay. This is Mary Needleworker. I'm just going to hold it up in the frame here like this. And since I last showed it, I have started adding the little details around it. The scissors, some of the scissors are new. The butterflies I started outlining, and the flower, the white flowers. I've also completed most of the border, which I absolutely love that border. The vine and then those sweet little flowers in dark pink and light pink. They're very nostalgic for me. There's something about them that reminds me of my childhood in the early 80s. And I had a doll, I think it was, that had a little, oh, it wasn't a dress, I think it was like overalls, maybe. It's a very vague memory, but I know it's there somewhere. It's just not defined. And these flowers remind me very much of that clothing that this doll had. They were little tiny pink flowers with dark pink and light pink and maybe red and the green vines. And it just feels very vintage and sweet to me. Very kind of cottagey, garden-esque. So I think Stephanie made an excellent decision to use that as a border on Mary because it's my garden, my Stitcher garden. Now that I got my foam board out, I don't think I have any more whips to show. Like I said, I didn't have a lot of whips this month, but I did make, I feel like, a lot of progress on them, and I'm really happy with that. I'm happy with the progress that I made. Using the Acrostics has really helped me make progress, and I've actually been counting my stitches, so that's been helpful to know that I've actually gotten those in and I've made time to progress on those. If I sound funny or funnier than usual, I think I might be coming down with a cold, so I'm a little nasally, sinusy. I don't know if I have sinus head or medicine head, probably both. I came down, this morning I got up with a lot of sinus pressure and a headache, and I thought it was just from the weather and my sinuses, and I took Sudafed and Tylenol, but now it's progressing, and I think it's becoming something more, and I hope it's not. But like I said, this weather is, and I know we don't get colds from the weather, so that's not what I'm trying to say. Oh, I do have one more whip. I knew I did. I mean, I knew that I had something else to show you, so let me do that. This is the Be Kind to One Another sampler. I almost think it's better if I don't put it on this. I think you can probably see it better if I just hold it up by itself, but oops, sorry. Okay, that's where I am on the Be Kind sampler. This I only stitched on a few, well, I stitched a few letters. I stitched that row, this row, I was going to say second row. It's really like the upper row because I had started from here and worked up. So I stitched on this month, the last week, and I put in RSTUV and then the N and the Q. And this one is by Needlework Press. This is a stitch along that I'm doing with my friend Beth, Steadfast Stitches, and Steadfast Stitcher, sorry, and a couple of other ladies, including Lancashire Stitcher and Stitchy Sally, who has completed hers, and it's beautiful, and she just sailed right along on hers. I'm a long way from that, but I'm really happy that I got a few stitches added to it. I recently took this to my job a few days ago when I worked. I haven't taken stitching to my work in a long time. I used to take it back in the day when I had the time to sit and stitch at other jobs that I had, but I haven't to this job, certainly, and probably a long time before that as well. There's really not much time, but I thought if I had some downtime, sometimes I hear people on Flosstube talk about stitching on their lunch break. And I thought, oh, what a great idea. Well, let me just take it along just in case I have some downtime. The lighting isn't very good, so I don't know that it would even work, especially on something like this. This is I think it's a 36 count linen on a vintage country mocha. And it was, I didn't have time to sit and stitch. I tried at one point, but the sun had already gone down and it was hopeless with the lighting. But I left it. I got home. I live about 20-25 minutes drive. I had worked all weekend, a long weekend, and it was good. It wasn't, like a super busy weekend. But I pulled in the driveway, and as soon as I pulled in the driveway, I was like, oh no, I left my bags in the office at work. Not my office. It's my boss's office. It's like our three managers share it. And I was like, oh, shoot. So I texted one of my managers and I asked her to just set it aside for me on Monday, which she did. And I got it back today. But, oh, that's a terrible feeling. It was 2 bags that I had. And I was thankful that I had another Q-snap at home and supplies because I've been trying to kind of downsize and declutter some things. And so I don't typically keep very many Q-snaps, but I'm really glad that I did. It's good to have some backup, so I was able to still stitch on my Q-snaps. And then I went in today, they had a meeting, and so I drove over there for the meeting. I figured I might as well get paid for going over there if I have to go over there anyway. And then she had my bags for me, and they were untouched. I can hear that I am more hoarse than usual, so I do apologize for that. I want to show you this lovely card that I got from my friend Amber, Rogue Mama Stitcher, on Flosstube and Instagram. Probably most of you, if you have been on my channel, you know her and watch her as well, as you should. If not, go check her out, please. She's linked below. She sent me this lovely card. This is from the Northumberland Sampler House. It just is an antique sampler, MV 1796. I'm afraid I'm not that well versed on it to know if that's the name of the sampler. I'm thinking that's the initials of the person and then the year, but 1786, yes. so I apologize, but it's a photo of that sampler. And then she sent me this little chart that she stitched just recently, Lovebirds from Primrose Cottage Stitches, who I love, and I keep wanting to stitch up some little smalls to have around seasonally. And I'm just not good at picking smalls and stitching smalls. There's just something that I get really overwhelmed when I look at them, and I'm like, then I don't do them, and I want to do them. So thank you, Amber, for helping me to make my decision easier. This is definitely going to be stitched, and hopefully I will get it done in time for Valentine's Day, and I can make a little finish out of it and put it somewhere in my house for February. So thank you so much for thinking of me and for that gift. And in my last video, I showed some ornaments that my friend Amanda at Lucky Chance Stitcher sent. So thank you for that as well. And then I have only one piece of haul to show. I did buy the Clouds Factory part for Harry Potter, which is a PDF. Not really much to show you there. And I did buy a couple of Etsy patterns, and that was it. I'm trying to be really good with my spending. It was really tempting because if anyone saw 123 Stitch had a really good sale. I mean, stuff was really marked down, and they had Picture This Plus. Oh, that was hard. I filled my cart a couple of times. I took it out, put it back in, took it out. But I have plenty of things to keep me busy. If I was to buy more things right now just because it's on sale, that's still money spent, and that is still, it's going to go in my stash instead of my closet. So when the time comes, I'm sure I'll be acquiring more haul. In fact, I have these. I think I showed these. These are not really technically birthday, but the new Country Cottage Needleworks pattern for the Boardwalk series came today, actually. And it's still in the plastic. It's saltwater taffy. And then I think I've shown some of these other ones before. They come once a month in the series, and I get them from Brick City Cross Stitch in Ocala, Florida. They send them to me. You know, it's funny. These are so cute, but I just realized that what I have been looking at it's not been accurate. I guess that I glanced at the finish, and I didn't really look that closely at the pattern. I love Country Cottage Needleworks. I love everything that they put out. So this is nothing against them, but this shows my lack of observation sometimes. So on these finishes, when they were first posted, the first place I saw them was actually on the Brick City Cross Stitch. It's a LNS here in Florida. And I saw it on their Facebook page back in the spring, summer, and I was like, oh my gosh, those are so cute. So actually, it might be better for me to post a picture of it. It might be easier to see, but I saw these and I glanced at them. I know I love Country Cottage, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, sign me up. I need to have those. And this entire time, they've been coming every month. I open them up. This entire time, I've been seeing a blue village because they're finished on this blue background, and I love that color. And then Mama Bear Stitchery, Debbie, who also is a wonderful Flosstuber and always has so much to show, she is stitching these. Debbie is stitching these, and she showed her progress on her WIP the other day, and they look awesome. She's been keeping right up with the stitch along. But I thought at first it was different. I thought it was a completely different Sal than these. And I had to go back and check and double check because they look very different to me. And it's because the shops are actually pink, which I'm sure is not a revelation to you because it's probably very obvious. But I was picturing this whole time that this was a blue themed town. And the buildings are almost all pink. There are some blue touches in there, which it's brilliant of them to use backing fabric that pulls from that blue. So if I, when I do stitch these probably as one piece, I'll probably color convert. I don't know, we'll see. I would like to do them in more of a blue, maybe with the pink accents. But I thought that was funny. I thought, oh my goodness, like, how do I not notice that? And it looks completely different to me than what I was looking at in the pattern. But they're still adorable, they're still cute, and it's still super sweet. And I want to go there to that boardwalk. And so for my birthday, it wasn't even planned for my birthday, but prior to the sales, I was on 123 Stitch to get a gift for a friend, and I was looking at her wish list. And, you know, I ended up on my wish list, as you do, and I'm just scrolling through, and I thought, actually, with Christmas coming up, and my family looks at that, and they thought, let me clear this out, because I'm sure there's some old things on there that are not really my style anymore, because it's like 20 miles long, I kid you not. So I was scrolling through, and one popped up that I have no memory of. I have no memory of putting on there. And it was on clearance. And it was on really good clearance. And so it was one of those impulse buys, and I was already ordering for gifts for our friends. So I was like, oh, I better snatch that up before it's gone. And so it's this one. It's a Pana kit. Let's see if that will show up for you without too much glare. It's Christmas. It's a Christmas village. I am a sucker for the villages, Christmas or otherwise. It's actually called Christmas Eve. And I think Pana is a Russian designer. Yes, they're out of Moscow. So they are Russian, and they have some really cute kits. And this is very different than the styles that I usually have picked up and stitched. So I thought this was whimsical, this was cute, and I really liked it. And it comes with the polka dot fabric. And I think that's so cool. You see that a lot of that lately. I'm seeing that a lot on Instagram, and I've never stitched on that. So I'm really excited. I don't know when I will start it, but I'm really happy to have it. And it's a 32 count Belfast. Swigart Belfast even weave, which is my favorite kind of fabric to stitch on. So that's the end of my November stitching update. Thanks for joining me. I want to pick your brains a little bit for Christmas stitching, because in December, as I said at the beginning, I really want to stitch Christmas. But I don't know what to stitch exactly. I do have a number of WIPs to work on that are Christmas related, so I will be working on those, and I will be showing those in my next update. A couple that come to mind are my Joan Elliott blue ornaments, my Dimensions Treasured Time. I have a kitten with a ribbon, and I have, I'm sure, other things that aren't. I think there's a Lindy Stitches ornament that still needs to be finished. Things like that. I love the Lindy Stitches Christmas collection. Pretty much all of her Christmas is really super cute. But I have a lot of things in my binder and my collection, and I thought that I would pull a little bit of it. It's not in any order. I think maybe I put some of it together. If you have the time, if you're just here for my stitching update and my WIPs, then I thank you for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. I hope everyone has a wonderful December, and I'll be back at the end of the year with a WIP parade and 2024 plans. So please look for that, and I look forward to hearing from you. If you have a moment, I would love to ask your opinion on what I should start for Christmas. I don't have that as many finishes really as I should at this point. I've been stitching forever, and I don't have as many finishes as I would like, but I definitely don't have many Christmas finishes. A couple of years ago, a few viewers asked me for a Christmas finish parade, ornaments, smalls, things like that, and I don't have it. I really don't have it. I've only made one finished ornament. It was a Mill Hill ornament ever. Part of that was that I didn't grow up celebrating Christmas, and that's a whole other story, but I do now. So I'm definitely into the Christmas stitching, and I would love to make some ornaments to pass down to my children and maybe one day other descendants. So all of that to say, and of course most of these are not smalls, and I'm trying to get on board with that, with ornament stitching. Helen D just put out a fantastic video showing some of her Christmas finishes. She has a second part coming out soon, I hope, on her Christmas ornaments. But I found her video about the Christmas smalls very, very inspiring. And I also found, I've been watching Cobweb Corner's channel. She's been doing some chart parade to show what's in her shop. She has an online shop. And that's made it a little hard not to buy, just because, you know, you're seeing all the pretty things and all the lovely things. And so more things got to add to my wish list. But those have inspired me to pick up some of my Christmas stitching that I do already have and have had waiting. So instead of rambling a bunch more, let me just show you some of the options that I have. These are, again, they're not small, so I don't know, but I would like to stitch on more I'd like to have more Christmas in my rotation. This is Madame LaFay. Is it LaFay or LaFay? Jingle Bells. And I actually won this in a giveaway from Half Stitch Cross Stitch. Thank you, Dena. I was so surprised. I don't usually win those, so that was really nice. So this is really cute. It reminds me of a designer, I think it's Mon Ami, a French designer who is now mostly out of print. There is a Christmas design that I love and I really want to get a hold of, but it's really hard to find. Nobody seems to know. And I'll put it up if I can find. There is a picture of it floating around and possibly on Etsy, but I would like to buy the real chart and not the fake chart, but we'll see. And I've asked like on the Facebook group for it, and nobody knows where to find those anymore, which is a shame. But anyway, it reminds me of that. And then I have the Winter Snowfall from Shannon Christine, who I am just loving more and more and more. I love Shannon Christine. She is coming out with some wonderful things. And so this one comes in a lot of different color options on the back. She gives you lots of palettes to work with, different colors. I'd probably keep the aqua teal as kind of a teal. I don't know. I have Glendon Place. This is called Flowers of the Holy Night. And I have seen this stitched up. This is stitched up at my LNS and it is stunning. It's largely done in Dinky Dye silks and beading. And it just looks really fabulous. I think that's the only charts that I had pulled out separately that I have paper charts of. I do have a lot of, well, maybe not that many. I have some PDF charts. One series that I know for sure that I'm going to start working on, well, two actually, and I don't think I have them in front of me, but I do have the legit charts because they're PDFs. But one of them is the Shannon Christine Signs of Christmas. I signed up for that club and I've been getting one every month on my email, and I haven't started them, but I have it all kitted up. I have the fabric ready to go, so I'm definitely going to be starting that. I'll pop in a couple pictures of a few of those, and I do plan to color convert those to more of a blue and green palette. I also would like to start one of the Doreen Jones Christmas patterns. I do have her owls and her robins as well that I can work on too, so I will probably pull those out and stitch those. And then I have the Country Cottage Needleworks Gingerbread. I think it's just called Gingerbread Village. I'm not sure if that's the actual name, but I have most of those. They're separate patterns, but I do have most of those, and I do have the fabric for that as well. I intended to start it last year and it didn't happen, so I would love to get that going and get a few stitches in that, because I do plan to stitch it all on one piece of fabric, and so I think it slowed me down getting started. I know on her website she has a great step-by-step on how to center it, where to center it, and what order to stitch them in, and how to count off, so I will definitely utilize that. I don't think, probably whatever I have in my folders here are probably not, I don't usually print cover photos just because I don't, but I have a couple of patterns purchased that are in here, and so if I can find a picture of them, I will put them up. I have the birds and the ornaments, And then I have the ornaments, just called Merry Christmas ornaments. That one I absolutely love. They have the blue and purple version, and then also the version with red and green. I'm not sure if they're the same designs in different colors or if they're different designs, but I think they're really pretty, and I haven't been able to decide whether to stitch those up as separate ornaments or whether to stitch them as one piece, like almost like a quilt kind of thing. I don't know. I can't make up my mind on that one. Oh, and I also have the Stony Creek Village somewhere. The holiday, well, it's the seasonal villages. They're pretty, they're, from a long time ago, but I've seen those stitched up too, and they just look so much better in person than the pictures. So I have that. I have the holiday village. I definitely want to, I have the Soda Stitch winter tree house, which I'm trying to get those tree houses stitched up. I have that, and then I also have the Soda Stitch winter sampler, I think it is, and it's a lot of Christmas on it. So that also is an option. So what do I do? What do I start? What do I finish? Obviously, I need to focus on some that are already started, but I definitely want to start a few more and put them into my rotation, especially with my plans for next year. I probably won't be starting things right away in the beginning of the first part of the year. So any WIPs that I want to have to work on next year need to be started already and into the new, already rolled over into the new year. So that's one reason that I want to go ahead and get some stitches in. So if you have an opinion, you have favorites, I'd love to hear from you in the comments, please, about what I should start this Christmas. Or if you have a suggestion for something that you've stitched or seen that you love that I haven't mentioned, because there's thousands, of course, please let me know. I have my eye on a lot, but I do need to work on also what I already have here in my possession. So that's it. And then I will see you guys hopefully at the end of the year. And again, I will try to do a WIP parade. I will try to talk about next year. I'm excited because not only is Christmas on its way, also WIP parade season, as I've heard people call it, is also about to start in a few weeks. Yay! And we all love WIP parade season, right? It's a great time to find new stitches that we might not have known and see our favorites and just enable ourselves and add to all of the beautiful WIP stitching, I guess, that we like. So that's something to get excited for. May you have a wonderful December and a lovely Christmas if you celebrate it, or whatever observance that you and your family will observe. And I wish you all love and peace and happy stitching. Bye.